Let's bring them out. All right, up first, we have Trina McGee. Up next, we have Matthew Lawrence. Coming to the stage next, we have Will Friedle. Up next, it's Ryder Strong. And rounding out the panel, it's Danielle Fishel. Woo. All right, how are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Hello.
You're great.
Hey, what's going on?
It's a good way to be. No, this is so exciting. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. I guess, okay, let's just start with this since we are here this weekend at GalaxyCon. I wanted to know, for all of you guys, what were some of your fandoms growing up? And if you could transport back in time to when we were all kids, who would you guys want to meet at a convention?
I was a big X-Files fan, so I would want to do anything pertaining to the X-Files fandom, and I'd want to know all those BTS moments and those stories.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
My wife actually went to an X-Files convention back in the day, and they had, I guess they had like Mulder's office set up so you could like get a picture. Say, I don't know.
A bunch of people leaving their own offices to go and take a picture at somebody else's office.
Well, there was something about like the way throwing a pencil or something. Do you remember this? I don't know. Yeah, he would throw a pencil.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Michael J. Fox. I was a huge everything. Yeah. So it was Teen Wolf, Back to the Future, and
Family
then
Ties.
Family Ties. I didn't watch that much, but I loved. So I would have loved to have met him, and we were lucky enough to meet him.
Yeah.
When Boy Meets World was on the air, we got to meet him at a Disney event, and he was the nicest guy in the world. So
it was really cool.
The best.
I have a bunch because I'm a huge nerd. So, if I could meet the entire cast of MASH, I would be the happiest guy in the world. Michael J. Fox obviously was up there, and then I've gotten a chance to meet a lot of the people that I loved because I was a huge animation fan growing up. So like G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Transformers, He-Man, all Mask, like all the best cartoons ever. Mask,
a deep cut.
That's a great. Oh, Mask was the best. So yeah, I would. People like that would be a ton of fun to me. And then Matthew Lawrence. I still just want to meet Matt at every convention. I'm like, is Matt here? I'm like, Matt here? No.
Well, thanks, Will. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Buddy.
You're welcome.
I guess for me it would be, it's a whole different genre. It's Repticon. I'm a reptile guy, so that was my convention. And
Is there such a thing as Repticon?
Oh yeah, it's big, baby.
Really?
Oh, it's huge.
That sounds like that would be really fun.
Yeah,
and
there's
super creepy.
Oh no, it's amazing.
Oh, that sounds like that would
Are
be
there
fun.
famous reptiles you get to meet?
Oh, well, it's more like, so at a Repticon, you're going to get all the first, look at all the best supplies out there, from cork barks to your different rocks, to all the different type of enclosures you would buy.
I love
and then you're going to
nerddoms.
see,
I love
you're going to see
nerddoms.
arachnids, you're going to see all the bug feeder insects, and then you're going to see the big boas, all the iguanas, the Aussie water dragons, the bearded dragons. It goes on and on. It's super cool. And then there's a whole gecko station. It's amazing. Tortoises and turtles. Oh my gosh.
You got to eat something.
Yeah, exactly.
So cool.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I do have the fan questions, and there was no less than 50 people asking you about iguanas. Yes, very popular
Bring
question.
it on. I love
Yeah.
those darn things.
Oh my God, how do I top that? You know what? I love classic television. So my favorite shows were like the Brady Bunch reruns and Gilligan's Island. I really love that show over and over. I probably know all of the episodes of those shows. And to meet somebody, I just gave Billy D. Williams a kiss. And I think I've really met everybody I want to meet now. Yeah.
She was so cute when she did it too. She walked over, she shook his hand, gave him a kiss, then walked by and went, I don't even know him. Like she just had to. She's like, I had to do it.
But he received me. I loved it.
Can I ask you a quick Gilligan's Island question?
Yeah.
So they can make huts, coconut phones.
Okay.
They at one point made a metal detector, but they can't fix the small hole in the boat.
Thank you.
I never understood. It starts with a hole about that big on the boat, and then cuts to the coconut island they've made.
And they've made, the houses.
The houses,
I love
right?
when other people come on the island, too.
They couldn't get off the island, but the Globetrotters could show up? It was like, what? Yeah, such a
Maybe
good
they
show.
didn't want to get off.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're going meta with it. Do you know how they ended up finally getting off the island?
No.
This is not even a joke.
They walked to the other
They
side.
walked to the other side.
Right. Okay.
And there was a military base there with a plane.
That's right. I remember that.
And it's like, no, but the guy's name is the professor, and he didn't think to go, why don't
He
we
didn't
look
think to go
over
for a
there?
walk.
Very strange.
The whole time, that was the.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an abandoned military base on the other side of the island.
I feel like my whole childhood now is a lie. This is
I'm
crazy.
sorry. It's true. It's true. Yeah.
It was.
Do you want another little deep cut from Gilligan's Island?
Let's
When
do
you
it.
watch the pilot, the flag, it's in black and white, the original first couple episodes, and the flag is at half-mast, and it's because they actually shot it the day that President Kennedy was killed.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I know a lot of random things
Kind
about
of
TV.
fun fact.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, kind of to pivot off of that ever so slightly, I wanted to know who are some of your biggest, let's say, acting inspirations or just inspirations in life in general?
Let's go that way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when I was in my late teens, I auditioned for Quincy Jones, and he's a big record. He did the Thriller album, Michael Jackson. I don't know if you guys know, but so he really took me under his wing, and he brought me out to California and put me up and helped me get started in my career. So I've always paid a lot of homage to him and the help that he gave me back then.
That's cool.
And I'll kind of bridge right off of you. I mean, Michael Jackson, Prince. I mean, these two artists I used to watch as a kid and just thought, I mean, how does one person just control a stage, the music, the dancing, do it all? It's like, that's incredible.
Did you meet any of them?
I did. I met Michael Jackson. Really interesting story.
Cool.
The opening of Captain EO. Do you guys remember Captain EO?
Yeah, of course.
Well, we were, you know, how we were all, you know, Disney kids. They would give us, the one great thing is we had all these great hookups at Disneyland, guys.
Yeah.
And so it was the opening of Captain EO, and they had us in this elevator to take us, you know, to just a nice little quiet spot to watch it. And we look over, and there's this elderly lady in a wheelchair. So we thought. That elderly lady reaches over to my older brother and goes, "I just want to say I'm a big fan." And the Disney guy goes, "It's Michael Jackson." It's Michael Jackson.
Oh, so he did disguise himself.
Yeah, all the time, apparently.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Or it was an elderly woman
Really messing with us.
doing a
and
parade
you've been
in
lied to for the last 30 years.
I know. It could be. It could be. And then,
That's
a
cool.
couple of the last ones were sports, oddly enough. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. I love their mentality. So those
That's
guys.
cool. That's cool. I would say Michael J. Fox because of Family Ties, and Alan Alda because of MASH were the two that they were hugely important to me as a kid. And then when I got older, William Daniels was very important in my life, but really on the show was very important in my life. And Kevin Conroy was very important to me in the animated world. So those are two men that were, made a very big impact on my life.
When I was a kid, when we were on Boy, I really was into. I loved Jack Nicholson. He was sort of like and I think because of the Batman movie, which is probably not his best performance when I look back at it now. But I've since got really into his work from the '70s, and he is an amazing actor. So he holds up for me.
Chinatown?
And then
Yeah.
and then somebody who I just think is consistently good and seems also to have figured out some things in life is Jeff Bridges. He's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's sweet.
Managed to always be authentic and still interested, and it seems like a happy dude to have survived decades of Hollywood. So yeah, I would say Jeff Bridges.
I wasn't super into TV or movies when I was a kid, and I started acting only because a girl I went to school with was also doing it, and I wanted to be like her. So I didn't have any real actors or actresses that I looked up to and thought I'd like to try to be like them. But I will say I have enjoyed every single performance I've ever seen of Julia Roberts. And so I feel like that's somebody that, whether I realize it or not, I've kind of been like, that's cool. I'd like to be like her.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we also got a lot of questions about wrestling, and I know last time we had Mick Foley come and crash the panel, so I wanted to ask you guys, what would be your wrestling entrance theme song?
Oh, man. So many good ones. I would probably pick some 90s hip hop, like like Montel Jordan, This Is How We Do It. That would be
Nice.
That would be mine.
That's a good one.
Or maybe a TLC song. Like, I would pick something awesome like that.
I would get the whiniest, most emotional, 90s angsty.
Lisa Loeb.
No, not Lisa Loeb, but no, it'd have to be a whiny white guy. It'd have to be like
Adam Duritz.
Yeah, no, I said the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, there you go.
Like, I don't want the world to see me. Then I just get in the ring and cry.
You as
I wouldn't even fight, just cry.
You win.
Angst boy.
Would just
Yes.
be such a great wrestling
That would be my
character.
wrestler.
Oh, that's so funny. That's a good question. I don't know. It would probably be the theme to a television show. Yeah. Just randomly, like, is he coming into the theme from Walker, Texas Ranger? Like, I
What
think
is
he
the theme?
is.
Do you know
I don't
the-
even know the theme.
Oh, come on,
I
you
honestly
gotta
don't know
sing
it.
it now.
I honestly
Does anybody
don't
know the
Does
theme
anyone
to
know the
Walker,
theme to Walker,
Texas Ranger? No. Yeah?
Let's hear it. Somebody.
What is it? How?
Everyone's like, I'm not. I heard Unsuspecting Stranger, so
Okay,
it must be a
cool. We gotta
rhyming
find
song,
it.
so that's good. That's good. Yeah, it would be something really random. Yeah.
I've seen someone come out to the Golden Girls theme song. It
That's
was lovely.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all sang along. It was,
I like that.
Yeah.
Are you?
Play his.
He's making a phone
Oh,
call.
we're
That's
pulling it up.
Googling
Okay, thank you.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you should make your entrance.
This is totally my entrance.
In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspecting stranger.
Stranger, I heard it.
It's perfect, actually. It's perfect. I just
actually a
picked the
great
greatest entrance song in the history of wrestling. Oh, man.
And that's now your
awesome.
wrestling name, Unsuspecting Stranger.
Yes. Oh, man. I'm
What some of you might not know is that for whatever reason on our set, all we did was talk about Walker, Texas Ranger.
Sir Charles.
No, it's not a joke. None of us had ever seen an episode.
Or have to this day.
Or have to this day. But it was always the show while we were on that was on the air that we were like, what is this show? Like, he's
It was
a
in its
ra-
30th season.
It was like always just this huge hit show that we didn't understand. And so we would always talk about it as we would call him Sir Charles.
Charles, we knighted him, Sir
We
Charles
knighted him,
Norris.
Yeah.
So we'd be like, if one of us messed up, we'd be like, Sir Charles wouldn't have messed
He would
that
never
up.
have done that.
And then do you remember we got a big box of stuff and we were like, what is this? And we opened it up and it was Walker stuff from NSYNC.
We can ask Joey about that.
We
while
can. It
we're
was
here.
just random Walker, Texas
Where's the
Ranger
tone?
stuff from Sir
Always
Charles.
our in joke was
Yep.
Walker. Yeah.
Sir Charles Norris.
Amazing.
What would your entrance theme
Oh
song
my
be?
God,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Question from like a half hour ago.
I'm on Walker, Texas Ranger now.
It's perfect.
I don't know, like if it's is it like a workout thing? Let me Tupac probably. That's probably.
Oh, that's a good one too. Nice.
Yeah, that's probably something. Maybe Whitney Houston.
Nice.
And I'm just in slow motion walking out.
Everybody else is in normal speed
Exactly.
and you're first in
Lots
your-
of wind.
There's a nice breeze in my hair.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I love it.
Well, for me, I have one song that always comes to mind when I'm trying to get amped. I did a movie with Stallone back in the day. So, rising up, back
Yes.
on the streets, took
Old
my time,
school.
took my chances. That's my one. That's
That
my
would be
hype song.
great.
All right.
Can't believe I sang that.
No, it's beautifully. I feel like the next time we all do this, you all should come out to your new wrestling entrances.
We'd
right?
have to wait the whole
Next
time as Matt was in slow motion.
Mine might be the longest.
Amazing. All right, so I'm going to get to some questions from y'all. So this person is anonymous. Okay, for everybody, what's been the most surprising thing about being part of a podcast? So obviously we have Pod Meets World. We also have Brotherly Love. Can you guys tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. What's been the most surprising part of it? I don't think this wasn't really a surprise, but it's it's been very nice that like when we started the podcast, writer specifically said, I want every week to really be a journey. Like we're gonna have to take it very seriously that we're watching the episode in live time. We don't watch them, we don't watch like episode 302, 303, 304, 305, and then talk about them weeks later. We literally most of the time watch the episode and then recap it the next day, or sometimes even watch the episode early that morning and then recap it immediately. And that way, it is a true, fresh journey that we go on where sometimes, we think about our thoughts before we get to talk about it together, but then in the conversation, the journey we go on is like, hey, that's a good point. You're bringing up something to me I hadn't thought of. And it really becomes every week a discovery and a discussion where we get to go very deep into some things that maybe, aren't necessary to go that deep on, but we enjoy it. And the hope was, of course, that people listening were also going to go on that journey with us, but there's no way of knowing whether people are going to care or whether people are going to want to do it the same way we want to do it. And I think what has been so enjoyable for us is really how many people are truly week in and week out on the journey with us. And we've now created this whole new community that exists outside of the show. It exists for the podcast. And that feels very special and very personal. And that for me has been my most favorite aspect, other than just being able to reconnect with all the people on the stage as well.
That's a good answer.
I've been surprised that you guys forget as much as I do. I honestly thought, because I had never watched the show, so I thought that I would know the least, that every week would be me being like, what? But you guys are just as clueless. And what's fun is that we all have very distinct memories of certain things, and so it's really fun to collectively be able to recreate these experiences and these memories, and because obviously I have very vivid memories of my little sliver, and you have very vivid memories of your sliver, and so we were able to share that. So, but yeah, I was surprised that, that I remembered some things, and you guys, yeah, it's worked out. So, yeah.
I think I've said this before. It's true. I'm surprised at the amount of work. It takes a long time. Like I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, we're doing a podcast. It's gonna be easy. I mean, this kind of took over our lives for a while. I'm also surprised but not shocked at how people have very specific memories of the show, and when we hit on any, that people are very vocal when they disagree with us. So it's there. I mean, really, there's times where, and a lot of times they're right. Like I'll read. I don't do a lot of social media, but we'll send comments or something like that. We'll be like, yeah, that's right. Maybe we didn't look at this the right way. But man, people are. I love how engaged they are. I think that's the cool part about it. So yeah, it's a discussion, like Danielle said, an ongoing discussion that's back and forth. That's kind of been a ton of fun. Thank you, one person.
I had a blast being on you guys' podcast.
Yeah, it's fun.
That was fun.
You'll have to come back.
Especially because, I obviously came in later, so I didn't get to see, some of the earlier episodes. So now I'm getting to rewatch them with them. It's pretty cool.
Very sweet.
But, and then when it comes to our podcast, we're quite the opposite. We don't go deep at all. We stay right on the surface, folks. Okay. We just like to, I guess, just poke fun at each other and have some conversations that we would normally just have at the kitchen counter just with you guys. So that's really what ours is about.
That's good. I like that.
Well, I had a great time being on their podcast. And I want to say I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, it is not easy to be a child star. And they took it, and now you just made a whole new creation. So I'm just so impressed by them. And I know Matt's going to have me on his show real soon. So,
We're there every Friday.
All right.
Matt, I have a question for you about your podcast. I'm always so impressed by how much social media content you guys are able to put out, that it's just like the three of you guys having fun on TikTok or whatever. I have tried to make a couple TikToks.
It didn't go well.
No, it's not that they don't go well. It's just that the amount of time for an old, I'm an old, and no offense to you, but you're an old with me.
Yes.
I think the youngs have it like, oh yeah, I spend 5 minutes, I do this little TikTok and I throw it out there. Do you guys, does it take you time, or are you able to really just be that good at it?
No, it was a complete crash course. I maybe posted once a year up until about 6 months ago.
Right, exactly.
And my brothers and I just decided to just open up to you guys more. This is really what we're like, whether you like it or not. So we're just kind of putting a camera on it. So for us, it's just, the first 2 months, I literally had to buy a laptop. Start from scratch with YouTube, the same way that I did with like decentralized finance. And I know it sounds weird, but it took my brain. I know everybody does it, but I'm telling you guys, it's going to affect each and every one of you. And here's the thing, though.
Came out of nowhere.
Well, because it's the truth. When I first started looking into, the change in our financial system, it took my brain like 3 months. It was in a foreign language, but yet it was in English, and I'm like, something's wrong with me. I don't know what's going on. Same thing with this social thing is, it took me like 3 months, and there's no editing programs that are made for what's called vertical, because now we're looking at through everything on our phones vertically. All of what I've learned is 16:9, which is a widescreen version for your
What about CapCut?
television.
Have you used CapCut?
What? CapCut? So CapCut is a good bridge, but you know what? I can't say it.
Okay.
There's a new program that's coming out that's going to solve all this. It's going to make all of our lives much easier. Yeah, it's going to be unbelievable, but it's just not out yet, and I don't think I can be the person to announce it for this company.
Okay.
It's a great editing program already, but now they're going to be making it for us so that you can now put all your vertical videos in there, and you'll be able to do whatever you can on Final Cut on your vertical videos. Much more simplified. It's very easy. And then with the advent of AI now, guys, it's like you got kids now able to cut very professional videos in a very short amount of time, because what you do is it's all about what you tell it, right? And what you tell your programs now. So it's not going to be you having to do what I did, which is spend 3 months figuring out the whole program, literally teaching yourself YouTube. No, it's going to be what you tell AI in these editing programs now. So if you want a nice pan cut, well, it'll do that within the video you give it, because it'll actually be able to recreate what's in front and behind it without you even shooting it.
That doesn't scare the hell out of you?
No, it's a tool. It's a tool. Look at it like anything else, okay? Every time we get an advent of the printing press, it scared the lights out of everybody. They didn't want that information going around. And then the automobile, same thing, scared the lights out of everybody. Then electricity, same thing. Television, same thing. Internet, same thing. It's just another tool that is going to be drastically
Cars didn't learn to the point where they can show up at your house and kill you in your sleep.
That's true. That's true. But
AI scares me.
It is, but it's the convergence of us and our technology.
Have you ever seen a movie? It never ends well.
It's true.
Yeah, seriously.
It's true, but I try to be hopeful about things, and I think that we're going to be just fine. I think it's going to be another tool that becomes a part of our everyday life.
I'm waiting for the future version of you to appear in the back in a glowing ball going, stop!
Stop him!
Stop! It changes
I do
everything.
not trust the robots.
Yes, seriously.
It's true. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild ride, and it's going to be a little bumpy. What's going to be the toughest thing for us? We're going to have a watermark with what distinguishes, like, our PG movies to R-rated. It's going to be PG is going to be human, and R will be AI, and there'll be a whole mesh of things in between as well. That's where it's going.
Oh, creepy.
Whether I like it or not, I have this conversation with my girlfriend all the time. We don't necessarily like it, but if we want to be a part of what's going to be happening in the next 10 years,
We have to listen to our robot overlords.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. I will be part of John Connor's resistance. Thank you very much. It's crazy. That just scares me. But again, it goes to what you're saying, though. One of the reasons I'm sure it scares me so much is because I don't know enough about it.
Because you're old.
Absolutely. The ignorance makes me scared, so I get that. But I think rightfully so.
guys, it's like the creation of the atom bomb. I mean, it's the same thing. With great technological advances comes great harm. And if somebody takes AI and wants to do real harm with it, just like an atom bomb, they will. But let's hope that humanity can overcome that, and so all of us can get together and start working together, because we're going to need to.
Let's hope it's just giant companies stealing our likenesses and not paying us for it.
Yeah, that too. We got to get royalties on that somehow, because they're going to be using. You know what's really fascinating? I actually just had this conversation with one of the.
This is the podcast.
Now
by
we're
the way.
going to be talking NFTs, everybody.
This is the podcast.
I forgot where I was for a moment.
stop. We'll talk about this on your podcast. I was like, I'll stop.
We can
So lizards.
What kind of lizard?
I was gonna say we can pivot away ever so slightly.
She's like,
because-
I'm skipping the next 8 questions.
No,
Please do.
no, I got you guys. On Brotherly Love, you guys were talking about the time capsule that was put, which was so cool. And I remember like when that was a thing. I wanted to know if y'all could put something in a time capsule right now. What would you like to put in a time capsule today?
That would like encompass this moment in time or ourselves
time
or
capsule,
what? I'm
Will.
curious.
That's what a time capsule is.
No, I meant for ourselves
An
or like
object.
now, like it's like me right now, or just like the cell
That is
phone.
a
You know what
good-
I mean? You know what I'm saying? You don't. I'm
the
saying
idea is
something that
humanity?
encompasses me right now or the time right now is what I'm saying.
Let's say
You right now.
Yeah, you.
Okay,
you.
so that's 2 different things to me.
Like whether it's personal, you're saying,
Right.
or
It's
whether we're
personal
like
to me right now, or it's just personal to the time right now is what I mean.
You right now. Yes.
AI would have gotten that, Ryder.
Wow.
It's like,
Who wants
good
to
question.
start?
I mean, so many of mine are going to be involving my kids. Like, my
Yeah.
kids both still have little lovies that they sleep with. And Keaton sleeps with 7 lovies. He's almost 2. I don't know why he has 7, but he has 7. And when I wake him up in the morning, he needs to bring all 7 with him. And he has a favorite. It's a duck, and it's disgusting. And he loves the disgusting duck. And Adler has one that's a sloth. Their 2 favorite lovies, I've actually started working with an artist to paint for me in their loved raggedy little form. My husband and I we love art, and so we have things that remind us of our kids as they've aged in art form. Like my son's first favorite movie was Luca, and so we have little paintings of Luca and Alberto. And then Bert and Ernie was in both of their rooms, and so we have little paintings of Bert and Ernie. The next one that I'm going to do is their little lovies. So mine would be like a sleep sack, the sleep sacks they sleep in. Their, little lovies, probably a Batman, because that's Adler's favorite superhero. A Spider-Man. My youngest son calls Spider-Man Spider-Man. It's adorable. He goes, "Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man." So also just audio of them talking and
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
the way
big
they say things. It would all be kid-related. So it'd be a very boring time capsule for anyone else, but for me, I would open it up and it would just remind me of this like very precious, very exhausting season of life that I'm in with 2 small kids that I know I'm going to miss when it passes.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. It's something with my son. The audio is a big one. I love recording Indy. I've done it a little bit for the podcast, but I've also done it since he was born, just conversations, because they figure out that cameras are on pretty quick. Like by the age of 3 or 4, they know, and so it changes the dynamic. But if you're just holding your phone and you hit record on a voice memo, you can have a conversation and their voices change drastically. Like I listened to audio from Indy like 2 years ago and he sounds completely different. So yeah, audio recording. He has been making comic books for the last couple of years, and he folds paper, staples them, and then draws full little stories. And a lot of times they're from movies that he's watched or stuff that he's been reading. And then he created a whole series called Bad Indy, and that's his name, Indy. So it's just him being a bad kid, and he created this whole time travel storyline. So it was amazing. He has like 6 issues of Bad Indy. So I put that in the
That's so cool. I want to read Bad Indy.
I want to read Bad Indy. I honestly don't know. I've been sitting here thinking about it the entire time. I really don't know. I wish I
really
did.
appreciate the honesty.
everything.
I don't. That's the thing, is I keep
Yeah.
everything. So I mean, I don't know what I would put in there. My whole house is a time capsule.
Yeah.
My wife loves it. We're redoing the house right now, and I'm getting a lot of, what would be awesome in this room is if this wasn't here. I'm not a pack rat by any, but we find.
Your
find
house
scripts.
isn't cluttered at all.
No.
Like, that's
but you
have
I know
everything.
where to clutter it. Yeah. No, I
Secret
don't.
clutter.
I do. No, I don't know what I would put in there. I don't know. Probably it would be don't know, maybe something from a convention. I've been doing, I love conventions, and I've been having so much fun. Maybe like a guest pass from a convention, or pictures I've taken with some celebrities that I like. I don't know, be something cool, but I don't know what it would be.
It would be cool though, whatever it is.
It would.
Something cool.
It'd be something cool. I want to take 4 of your loveys, and I'll use those. So then you can use my space to have all of your loveys.
Do you want one of the 3 ducks, a dino, an elephant?
I want to, first of all, in my head, I'm already trademarking Disgusting Duck because it's an awesome comic book.
It's like Serious Goose.
It is, seriously.
But I'll do Disgusting Duck.
Disgusting Duck. And
All right.
nobody likes Disgusting Duck, and then at the end he falls in a puddle and he gets even more disgusting. We'll talk.
Okay, we'll talk. All right, I love it.
But no, I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't have any kids.
Do you want kids, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny too? I don't think I'm even. Well, there's this thing about people don't really grow up until they have kids, right? That's kind of a thing. So I've decided that I also don't like to work with people that don't have kids because they're less dependable.
Right.
They're less. Sorry, Will.
I have a stepdaughter. That counts.
I'm kidding.
No,
but I mean, I don't have kids, so it'd honestly be my favorite dry fit Adidas hat.
Oh.
I can't go anywhere without it. It's the only pair of article of clothing that it's essential to have.
Okay.
Pretty good. Well, my kids are all grown up. They're full adults now, so I probably won't really put them in the time capsule. But mine is kind of boring. I'm like a really big jazz enthusiast, so I would probably throw all my John Coltrane, my Thelonious Monks, and my Bill Evans trio and all that stuff.
Nice.
I would want
Those are
that in the
good.
future. Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Cool.
Well, I guess a good follow-up question for that, Trina, would be somebody wanted to know, let me see where the question is here. They want to know, what is the best concert that you guys have ever been to? This is from Christy.
Right there.
I heard a woo. Is that you?
Right there
Thank
in
you,
the front
Christy.
row. Good question.
Best concert.
Oh, me?
Sure, all of y'all.
The best, I saw the Police when I was like 12 in New Jersey, so I think that was like
That's
the
cool.
best one I went to. Yeah.
Very cool.
You go to a lot of shows, don't you?
I love music.
Yeah, you're a huge music fan.
I love it.
Yeah.
Any artists you like in particular?
Well, I was about to say the best tour I've seen in the last 5 years was definitely the Hot Summer Nights TLC tour.
Oh.
Very, very good.
Uh-huh.
Definitely, yeah, they're awesome. Definitely one of the best shows I've seen in the last long time. But there's a lot of bands, a lot of artists out
Yeah,
there.
you go to.
I love just live music. Love it.
I've only been to a couple concerts in my life. Live music's not my thing, so live music and crowds and kind of everybody jammed in together, unless there's comic books involved, I'm probably not going to be there. So we went to Aerosmith when we were kids. That was a lot of
So
fun.
much fun.
That's awesome.
That was a cool concert. And then I saw Trey Anastasio from Fish at the Greek. That was fun. But yeah, I'm not a huge live music guy. I just make it sound like it does on the album. All right, don't try to trick
the
me
whole
with
point
anything.
is seeing it different.
No, don't try to
Oh my
trick
God,
me
I'm
with
the
anything.
exact opposite. Like I go to a concert, I want it to be completely different.
Right, where I'm like,
That's
that doesn't
funny.
sound at all like the song I was listening to in my car.
Right. Yeah. No. I like them to reinterpret their
Sure,
music
their own-
or
right,
whatever.
yeah. I get that.
I've seen Tom Waits a few times. Yeah. So I saw Tom Waits at the Beacon in like '99, I think. It was unbelievable. I saw him 2 nights in a row, and so I think it was the second night. It was one of the best concerts of my life. But I will say there was also. Bon Iver was one of my favorite bands. They played.
Dude, I second that one, man.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're freaking.
Yeah. So they did a concert
That's
at the
a
Hollywood.
band?
Yeah.
I thought that was a guy.
Well, it's one guy. It's one
Okay,
guy
okay,
from
all right,
Missouri,
good.
but
Okay.
his
Brilliant.
name is Justin.
Yeah,
but
right.
he goes by Bon Iver.
Gotcha, okay. I was
is the
right.
band
Okay,
name. And they did a concert at the Hollywood Bowl with a dance troupe.
I was there.
It was unbelievable. Yes. Oh,
So good.
and it was an album that hadn't come out yet, so nobody knew any of the songs.
Dude, but
and it took like 3. And the first couple songs, everybody was like, "What is happening?" Because it had a video component, and then this dance troupe, and the dance troupe was half black and half white, and so it had this whole racial integration storyline that was beautiful and an abstract and perfect. You remember? And by the fourth song, the whole audience was on their feet, tears like streaming down our faces. It was one of the most beautiful things I've. So that was hands down. Like,
yeah, dude.
I love that you were there. Come through.
Dude,
it was, I don't know. Yeah, and then they released the album, and like, it's fine, but man, with the dancing.
Unreal.
It was unreal.
Yeah, dude, I got lucky. I saw him without knowing anything, like way early on before. And he just blew me away. And then, but that concert,
I love that you were there.
unbelievable, guys.
I was not there. Missed out on that one. I saw Sade in concert.
Ooh,
Good one.
right, that one
Good
too.
one.
It was amazing. That was one of my favorites. And then more recently, I saw Sabrina Carpenter at the Greek, and that was like,
I was there.
you were there, and it was just, the performance was amazing, but it was also just amazing because I have memories of being with Sabrina and her talking about how much it was a dream to perform at the Greek, and we took her to a concert at the Greek, and we talked about, man, someday you're going to be up there, and she was like, yeah, someday. And so to be there then when she accomplished that goal and that dream was like just, I mean, made my little heart burst. So those are mine.
That's good.
All right, we have about 10 minutes left, so I like this question. A few people asked it. This one comes from Eddie. What 90s trend would you like to see make a comeback? And let's also say, which trend would you like to see never come back?
I'm personally not going to jump back into the butterfly clip trend. I see it on other people, and it's so cute on other people. But I remember it so well on myself and think, that was not a good look for me. So if the butterfly clip trend went away, I'd be fine with that one. But it is back. So, I mean, are there any 90s trends that aren't back? Because I feel like pretty much anything 90s is back. Not neon, peg jeans, butterfly clips.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, you know, yeah, you know what? Like, remember in the '90s there was this whole notion of being a sellout, like the idea that like somebody, if they were mainstream, like
Right.
that should not come back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you're right.
I'm so glad that's over. Like the idea that you
Good
were
point,
like,
dude.
You know,
Good
like
point. That was a big deal
Oh my
for
God, it was
us.
a big deal.
If
And,
you
like,
did TV, you couldn't do film. If you did
Exactly.
music, you couldn't do TV.
You can't sell a
Exactly.
product.
Oh,
You can't do that,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
we
really
used-
rough
and
in the
like
90s.
artists used to get judged for
You're
a
100%
million
right, dude.
things. You know, like you think about the way like Fiona Apple was treated, or like anybody
True.
did something a certain, and it's like, oh, they're, you know. So
Yep.
I don't want that to come back.
No, I agree with you.
Something I do want to come back, and I know Will's going to be with me on this, is like a multi-camera sitcom.
That's
like
what I was gonna say. Family sitcom.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good
Again,
one.
90s
totally
family
agree.
sitcom.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know if audiences want it, but it would be, you know, it would be great if.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
I was
Of course they do. It's just got to be authentic. You have to
I
have this
agree.
relationship with the audience again.
Right,
They've
right.
taken that out of it, dude.
Yep,
Right.
I agree 100%. Yep, I agree 100%.
Once you feel that audience, you can really feel those people just like us in that audience really laughing again. You guys are going to go, oh my gosh, what is this? I love this.
That was the best.
Yeah.
We had a connection. Boy Meets Squirrel, I remember we had a connection with each and every one of those people out in the audience.
No, I agree.
You listen back to some of those episodes, you can hear the fans in particulars laugh. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like we had a relationship with those
And
people.
it was great. I'm glad the clothes are getting baggy again.
Skinny
I
jeans.
couldn't do the skinny jean. I mean, I apologize for the swear, but I have no ass, so skinny jeans just look like I am a tube of toothpaste and someone started squeezing at the bottom. It is not a good look for me. So big, bulky jeans and like nice, bulky sweaters. Big fan of that. So
Like Jankos? Can we bring
that
back
works.
the
Whatever.
Jankos?
Any just big and comfortable. Remember being comfortable? Remember how comfortable that was? It was great, as opposed to like, well, I've got an hour to get into my jeans. I hope I make it. Oh, it's the worst. Yeah. So it's yikes. So
Who's
yeah.
making you wear this? Just wear sweatpants.
Society. Society's making me wear it, Ryder. By the fourth day I'm in my sweatpants, I start getting looks. So yeah, telling you, that's my answer.
Am I supposed to go?
You're up.
You know, the only thing I can say about that is I used to be very embarrassed about certain pictures online, and now my nieces think they're the coolest pictures out there of me. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's all right. It's all back in trend. I thought the way I used to dress and stuff, I looked awful, but all the kids are dressing like that again. So.
Yeah, works.
Cool, whatever.
Well, funny, the thing that I don't want to come back is the thing that Will likes, the baggy clothes. I like things nice and fitted and nice.
You and my brother Joe.
Joe's the same way.
I don't like those baggy clothes. I work out too much for that.
It's true. It's true. That's what he says. You guys gotta have lunch.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, okay, let's end on this question because you said lunch. I'm hungry, and someone wanted to know, Melody wanted to know, what is your, oh, we got another woo, favorite food at craft services?
Good question. Good question.
Oh, well, I'm going to say, I don't know my favorite, but I got so sick of those Twizzlers that they would have. And, like,
There's
in
always
bulks and
Twizzlers. They're
bulks.
not even. Yeah, they're the bulk red vines.
I mean, by the end of the day, it was just
yeah.
coming out of me. But
It's big. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I just remember what I didn't like.
Yeah.
So it's on you.
Oh, God. I think the only thing I'd say about that is just the memories of, again, bringing it back to the 90s, of the craft service in the 90s was...
It's pretty great.
It was like a huge buffet table. I mean,
Sprite.
you almost felt bad. You were like, should I be taking this food like down the street and be giving it out? What's going to happen with all this food? Nobody's eating it.
used to
Nowadays,
steal
they're like, here's your own little packet of chips. Nobody's touched it. Here's a bottle of water, and we'll see you in 3 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, so it's a much different environment now. So just the food in general, I feel like was way better back then. Just my experience.
I was a big fan of the perfectly, it's part of my desert island food too, the perfectly toasted bagel and cream cheese.
I was gonna say bagel, yeah.
Unbelievable. Wonderful. But we also had these meatballs on our set.
Oh, that's right.
The meatballs were pretty great.
Were they the Costco meatballs? I think
I don't know. I don't know what they were. They should have been. Oh, I have no idea.
I don't think was Costco around.
Were they? Yeah, must have been.
was around.
Because their meatballs now are fantastic. So I'm just saying maybe they were.
Yeah, there was. So we would have these vats of meatballs, and they were so good that there'd be people in line where it'd be like, I know you don't work on our show.
Yeah.
Like you're on Sex and the City. Like what are you doing here? So yeah, I miss the meatballs and the bagels.
And then we had our audience coordinator would make dirt cake.
Dirt
Do you remember
cake,
that?
yeah.
So on
was
tape nights, we
great.
would have this incredible dirt cake. I want to say, not on our show, but on almost every set, a single camera, or if you're working on a movie, they have a catering truck and breakfast burritos.
Oh, you nailed it.
It's like a Hollywood staple.
It is.
And it's like to this day. I mean, I didn't know what a breakfast burrito was when I first started acting as a kid, and I went and got breakfast. And I still, whenever I think about movie sets, I think about that morning breakfast burrito. Oh,
Good call.
so good.
Mine isn't craft service related, it is commissary related.
Okay.
So I love a buffet. Just love
Me
a
too.
good buffet.
Yeah.
And the commissary we had for the first couple of years we were working on set it's basically a fancy cafeteria. And you grab a tray and your plate and you walk around and they're like, yeah, I've got salmon there. Yeah, I'll have a little piece of salmon, sure. I'm gonna have a little piece of chicken. And you just get little bits of everything on your plate.
It's like Sizzler. Yeah.
And so good. And it was every Thursday night before there was, so it's not just the food that is a good memory, it's the fact that my hair would be in 75 curlers. I'd have the beginning stages of stage makeup on. I would be in my normal clothes, so if I messed up my clothes, I wasn't messing up wardrobe, but the anticipation of like, the audience is loading in now, and as soon as I eat this food, then we're gonna, go finish makeup and go out there for the live show, like that whole feeling, the commissary buffet feeling of a show night is my favorite feeling.
That was great.
Yeah.
Guys, question for you.
Wait, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I used to steal a lot of food.
A lot. I don't know if it's stealing.
I feel better now.
It was for you.
So did Tony Quinn. Don't worry about it. A guy took more cookies than any human being I've ever seen in my life. So funny. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, do they still do 2 shows in a show night?
It depends on the show.
But some still
but
do.
we didn't, though. We did a Wednesday night and a Thursday
Right,
night.
right.
But when we started, we
did too when we
realized that on
started, yeah.
our pilot, and then I think the first couple episodes, we did
we used
2
to
show
do
nights.
2 shows a night, and
Yeah.
dinner was smack dab in between.
middle,
and
yeah.
it used to frustrate me because I'd be starving, but I can't eat a big meal and then go and do another show.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tried to stay starving until after the second show. It was awful.
I just remember
I eat, guys.
yeah, and that was the thing I remember is that you'd eat like a huge pizza and somehow get an extra ab. I would look at the pizza delivered and not fit into my jeans anymore. I was like, oh wow, he's got a 12-pack. Interesting.
You know, the grass is always greener.
Yikes.
I got to keep eating, or literally I just drift away. You
Oh
wouldn't see
yeah.
me.
Oh, it's so
terrible.
rough.
It's an awful thing to have happen.
It's not fun. I'm telling you.
I was going to say, this has been such a joy. Thank you guys so much for sharing all these stories.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.